Hi, welcome to another video. It's been a while since my previous video. Someone sent me this device to have a look at. This device, made by Bus Electronic in Germany. This is a crane or hoist load measuring device. The person who sent it to me says their company go through a lot of these. I emailed this company. They offer 1 year warranty, and if it fails after that, throw it away and get another one. So this particular device can run 2 or 3 hoists or cranes, the 3-phase motors, and in the absence of a load cell fitted here, you can fit a current transducer to the live wires to the motor, and it will measure the current on each winding. And I believe there are more transducers to pick up the voltage, unless of course the voltage is fed directly into this. I'm not sure, but it says it can take up to something like 630 volts. I haven't got 3-phase here, so I can't test that function. This is just reset. I had it displaying the weight 40 tons on hoist 2. This is now saying it's got a fault on hoist 1. It's showing that fault. I don't have a load cell input to frequency 1 for hoist 1, and then frequency 2 for hoist 2, frequency 3 for hoist 3. You can enable this part. This sends out a voltage on B plus and B minus. The returning millivolt signal from the strain gauge goes in on, is that V or U? V plus and V minus, or U plus U minus. In the absence of this strain gauge, you can have an external device in the cabinet for the crane that picks up the signal from the load cell in voltage, and it converts it to a frequency. With the varying voltage from the load cell, you get a varying frequency, and that's read at these 3 inputs to give you the weight. So when I first got this device, although I stripped it down and had a look, I measured these supplies here, so plus 12, minus 12, Q, which I'll show you in a minute, 5 volts, ground, receive, transmit, so that, I'm thinking that's like UART with the receive and transmit, and then F1, F2, F3. I don't know if these are the current inputs from the transducers. I don't know if it's I or L, 1, 2 and 3, ground, then you've got E1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up here 6 and 7, there's 5 internal relays that control these signals to bring the hoist up and down. The important bit on this item, A1 and A2, 48 volts AC. So here is my transformer. I think it's 2 18-volt supplies. Got them in series to test it, so we've only got just over 40 volts AC. So before I take the scope probe off, I thought this Q is serial data going out to some device that I don't know what it is. The crane people will know, but I don't. Before I show you the signal, so you can see this signal happening periodically. If I capture it and open that out, you can see some signals are wider than the other, so it's either 1s and 0s or 0s and 1s, something like that. Got no idea, and I don't need it to repair the system, but whatever that output is, it's working. So now you've seen the basics. I'll demonstrate the programming in a minute, but let me show you the electronics. So I'll take the scope off. Right, so I've got my signal generator on, my wave generator. It's set to square wave, and you saw that number 40 tons with its current settings, and this was sent from a working hoist, working crane, to get 40 tons exactly, which is a limit on this second crane. I had to send in 8,792 hertz, so 8.792 kilohertz, and I had to adjust this frequency to fine because it's very sensitive, but you can adjust the sensitivity in the parameters on the A-bus device. That frequency or imitation load stops working below 3 volts peak to peak. The device that runs it, I believe the output is 12 volts peak to peak, but this scope only goes up to 5, so I turned it down to see what the lower limit is. Seems to be about 2.8 to 3 volts. Below that it won't measure anything. Well, so here's a look under the cover. That's the front fascia, and these 6 sockets here plug on to these 6 pins here. So the data sent up to a microchip chip for this display must be done in a serial form. So this is a 48 volts input, although this is a 240 volt common mode choke. Looking at the quality of this board that contains an STM32 microcontroller, this has got copper pore here, here and on the top, so I'm guessing this is a multi-layer with the tracks in the middle. Whilst we're looking at this board, the silk screen or the copper pore 28521. So if that board was designed or redesigned and made in 2021, we're now December 25, this hasn't lasted long. And it's German, so I'm shocked. Hopefully this camera's focusing. 48 volts AC, so 50-60 Hertz, 12 volts 2.5 VA, 12 volts 2.5 VA. So it's 5 VA transformer. So that's one transformer, the other 9 volts 5 VA. When I first looked at this, these are regulators, and there's another one over here. I believe there's a 7912, 7812, and there's an adjustable voltage regulator, which might be this first one. That could be for that signal out, that Q that needs something like 12 volts. This capacitor had a slight bulge. I don't know if you can see it. So that was the first surprise, because this is German engineering, or probably assembled in China. I haven't actually seen where it's assembled. But then I looked at the brand. So it's not like, it's not my first pick of brands, but it's Jamicon. And I've seen tons of Jamicon capacitors on Mackie 450 version 2 amplifiers. And these don't seem to fail on the amplifiers. Yet this PCB says this was built in 2021 or designed 2021. So how long has this been in service? Anyway, this is meant to be 1000 microfarads and it measures less than 2. The 5 volts was fluctuating between 4.7 and 4.8, and it's varying every time this was flashing. This number flashing up, 2,621 hours, that's 3.5 months that this unit has been turned on. So this is now showing the hours of service and fault 2. If I now simulate a load cell by sending a variable frequency into F2, F2's gone, and now we've got F1, because I haven't got that same signal going into F1, and I can't put that signal into F1 because the display goes black for a second, because the frequency, no load, so no load, no weight on the hook, the no load frequency on F1 is different to the no load frequency on F2. Right, so to get into the programming, press and hold enter. If you get this code wrong, I don't know if it's all the codes, but this is important. If you get this code wrong 4 times, A-bus want you to send the unit back. So they'll simply hook up their programmer and reset the microcontroller. God knows how much money they'd want for that. And meanwhile, your crane is down. If this goes wrong, my email, they told me they do not repair them. It's a code. To get into the programming, press and hold this. We want 55. So enter, nothing there. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what usually happens, it doesn't work the first go, but it works the second. So if I press and hold enter, keep pressing, right, that's the programming number, but you see it's not defaulted to anything and it's not flashing. So that didn't enter that programming routine. Programming stroke viewing routine. So do it again. Enter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press and hold it. There we go. We're in. Program 00. Hopefully we won't get too many screen artifacts in the finished picture, but I really can't. I haven't got the time to start doing a screen capture and then try and line up my audio. So look, P00, total load setting. Total load setting, I don't know what that is. Look, load capacity, so P1.0, 0 to 100 tons. Load capacity setting for hoist 1. So if I scroll up, 1.0, load capacity setting for hoist 1. So if I simply go enter, hoist 1 is set to 40 tons. If I press enter again, we're back to the menu. So I can now go up P2. In fact, look, P1 for hoist 1, P2 for hoist 2. So P2, load capacity setting for hoist 2, 25 tons. Enter, back to the menu. If I wanted to adjust that, I would press and hold enter. It would then prompt me for a code, I believe, in the settings, and the code to generally start adjusting stuff is 1443, but I'll show you that later. So this unit set to 25 tons. This is a slave, there's a master somewhere else in the building. 110% instead of 100%, or you can drop it down to 80%. But what's important with this microcontroller controlled load measuring device, it can start the hoist motor on slow speed, measure the voltage and current, make sure they're within limits, and then pick the hoist up to fast speed. So you can enter the current, the voltage, and the resistance of windings. I have seen, I don't know if that's all on this device or other remote devices. So if I scroll this down, if you've lost your copy, you can just watch this video back. I'm not going to put this on the internet because it's not mine to distribute. If you've got one of these devices, I'm guessing A-Bus will send you a copy. Here's one, acceptance test, P5.3, unit diagnosis, that turns on various relays, 5.4, delete settings, that deletes all the settings you put in here, of which there are loads, so just stay away from delete. Oh, so this, for example, I went into 5.7, so if I'll show you. In fact, the numbers go up in a funny way, but I understand the electronic side, so we want 5.7. I think it might happen now. No. What, 5.7. Right, so if I press enter quickly, this tells me this is set up operating on twin hoists. And if I want to change that to, if I want to change this to 1, press and hold enter, enter 1443, then it'll let me adjust this, and then you enter to accept it. Right, so that was 5.7, and this unit is set to 2, operation on twin hoists. 5.8, operation with A-bus synchronization. So yeah, so you can see 5.8, 5.10 is that setting. Then it goes to 9.9, do that to come out of the settings. But if you keep on going past 9.9, it then gives you, look, P 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If I scroll through slowly, in case you haven't got this drawing, these are the codes you enter. I think they're all 1443, there is one exception. So if you're new to A-bus load measuring devices, hopefully this video has given you some help. Thanks for watching.